So, can you tell me a bit about your new swimwear line?
Well, my new swimwear line we launched 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, technically, with WWD in New York, and Lorenzo Martone is my partner, and we met. Actually, he called me on a Saturday, and was like, "Hi, I'm Lorenzo. I have this idea I really want to talk to you about, and if you're free, I'd love to talk to you about it." And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" He's like, "Well, I can't really say." I'm like, "Well, can you at least tell me if it's, is it fashion? Like, what?" I'm so like, wow, what is this guy calling me out of the blue about? And
So you never knew him before?
No. Because what I had done, I had done a 4-piece capsule collection of lingerie called Arsenic and Old Lace. And so basically he had seen that, and what I wanted to do was apply jewelry into lingerie and sort of stretch the limits of what people thought about lingerie. So he saw that, and since he was looking for someone to do business with, to do this line with, basically he wanted to find someone that had an edge to her and something that we could redefine the way that people view swimwear, because it's such a niche that needs to be rediscovered, because if not, we'll just continue to recycle old silhouettes and not do anything new. And basically, I know that when I go to the beach, have a hard time with swimwear, because I don't want to go into an H&M and buy a palm tree ridden bikini, because that's not who I am. That's not me. I'm not that kind of person, which is totally fine, but I don't have any options. So when he came to me and he called me on a Saturday, I was like, sure, whatever, this is cool. And it's also about New York. It's about your opportunity is always open, and if you find it, you walk right into it, because it's fun. It's part of your life. It's all about having fun. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come over tomorrow. So I go over to his house.
What was that like?
Amazing, because I honestly, in New York, there's so many amazing apartments in New York, and this one happened to be one. And I walked in, I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? I have no idea. And I walk in, there's Liechtensteins and a wall of Louis Vuitton bags. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna see what this is. This is fun, man. What a great infiltration story. I'm like, oh yeah. And so I walk in and I sit down, and he presents to me his plan and what he wants to do, and it was a really, really great idea. And me just sitting there and listening to him, I'm like, oh my god, I could do it this way, I could do it this way, the logo, it needs to be redone. I was just I started thinking while I was sitting there, but still absorbing what he was saying. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And we instantly hit it off, because he's such a humble, beautiful man that on the outside too, but it's completely irrelevant. But he's so charming and sincere about who he is that I was instantly drawn to him. And with me, I really just don't want to do business with people I don't get along with. So we totally met, we hit it off, and here we are, almost a year later, because we took a lot of time to brand, because it's really such an out there sort of concept that we really wanted to pace ourselves. So we've finally launched, and the reaction's been amazing. 4 days after we launched on WWD, I said in the article, well, it would be great to launch with Saks Fifth Avenue. Lo and behold, I get a Facebook message from the buyer, because I had partied with her, and she was like, hey, I'm now the swimwear buyer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, that's rad. That's cool. So we met up and we discussed everything. We're going to meet again next week in Miami. And then we're also going to be launching with Harvey Nichols in England, exclusive. And then we also meet with Lane Crawford. So it's on.
And what's the label? Is it called Be Jules?
It's called NYKD, NYCKED. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a lifestyle around New York. and it's not exclusively for New Yorkers. It's an aspirational brand. It's like New York is a place that we all, at one point in our lives, have thought about experiencing. And if not, we've already done it, or maybe we want to do it again, or we go back there all the time. Like, it's a part of culture, cosmopolitan culture, that is, it's like a hub in everyone's life. At some point, even if you live in Wyoming, you're probably like, I have no interest in going to New York. But it's still an aspiration for so many other people. It's a point of change in people's lives. So we decided to really embrace that, and him being Brazilian, Lorenzo being Brazilian, and me being a transplant, but essentially I call myself a New Yorker because I really believe it's a state of mind. I could not exist outside of New York.
So you're based in New York, not Los Angeles?
Uh-oh.
Why did I think Los Angeles?
Because I go there all the time. Because I'm floating all over the place.
What's the price point, out of curiosity?
The two pieces are like $130. One piece would be like $140. Really competitive.
Wow, that's
not
really
craziness.
Smart. And where are they going to be produced?
We're producing in the U.S.
That's great.
I mean, like, we're doing it step by step, and you know, we're not claiming to be swimwear heads, because the swimwear industry is not something that you can just knock on their door and they're going to open it for you. Like, that's also why we've been working really hard on developing relationships within the industry before we just sort of like blow through their doors and they're like, oh, I don't think so. We really wanted to like be valid before all of it happened.
So you basically knew when you first met Lorenzo this was going to work?
Yeah, I knew
just
it in
instinct.
my heart. I actually remember after we had met and then we started doing things and I was sketching, and I'm like sketching until like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm not tired. I'm like, this is awesome. I've never done this before. This is great. I'm going to figure this out. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really cool. And also, like, in the pit of my stomach, I like had butterflies for months because I knew that this was happening, that I made a decision to partner with Lorenzo, and he also did. And at first we're like, well, I don't know, you know, you're cool and stuff. I hope you're good at business. You know, we don't know. We're just following our passions, and since we share parallel passions, it really worked out organically, and I respect and I love him. And I remember having these butterflies and thinking, my life is going to change. Wow. It's like really empowering. And I also know that kind of attitude is infectious. So if I can produce a product that has that attitude instilled within it, the whole process is really valuable to the people that will buy it. So I know it's not just the product, it's the whole process of them being interested in it, them knowing who we are, because we are the face of this brand, NICT, them respecting where they come from, because it's totally based on a New York lifestyle, and them buying into the lifestyle that they're creating for themselves based on just one experience with one product, which is also something that, you know, I'll go through with the Be Jules stuff. It's a very similar aesthetic, a very similar state of mind. And so, that being said, NICT in general is a swimwear-based line, but it doesn't necessarily impede us from expanding into a whole lifestyle culture. So, you know, I'm working on different projects already with the brand name NICT. So, come fall, winter 2011, there'll be new NICT products that aren't swimwear.